Okay, here's what I want to do. I'm going to try to work on helping teach the 6th grade classes right now, and just for everybody, just as a reference for the future, we'd have this on there, and just kind of an introduction to actually cutting material. We kind of gone over the safety. I have videos on the safety of using the scroll saw and how to lay out your XYZ puzzle, which is, I already have it laid out already. So I'm not going to really go over the measurements to it right now. Mainly want to go over how to use the saws and the different, maybe the different types of saws and different sounds you might hear as you're going through this. So we have 2 different saws right here. We have, oops, I'm going to make it so it's still this way right now. I'm going to try to use the computer screen to my benefit like that. So these are the brand new saws. These brand new saws come with a few different features. The brand is called Skill. We actually have some older ones that are Skill. The difference between the new Skill and the old Skill is the blade saddles. The blade saddles on the top and bottom have the ability to bring your blade facing forward like this, but also facing perpendicular to the length of it, which this is the preferred method. If you could set it up so that your blade saddle is in the saddle that's going sideways, that's kind of going over towards the controllers. Most of them will have that type of option. Some of the blade saddles do get worn out a little bit. If the blade saddles are worn out, kind of like this one kind of is, I'm going to try to see if I can zoom in so you guys can see it. So the blade saddles do tend to get worn out a little bit, but on the top and bottom, there should be, on most of them, blade saddles that face to the side, perpendicular to the length of it. The reason we prefer using blade saddles like that, where we're having it face the side, is so that this way, when we're running on here, the angle of the plate or the angle of the table versus the angle of the blade will always be at 90 degrees. That way you won't really have to worry about your blade guard, the knob, the tilting table knob, and the tilting table angle gauge. Right now you can see that this should be set. Try to make it focus so you can see it. This one should be set at 0, which it is. But no matter what the angle is set at, we could literally tilt it at any angle, and you'll see from this perspective that it's always going to be at 90 degrees. So that's why having it off to the side is some of the best ways to do it. Right now I'm just locking that in so it's set at 0 degrees, just like that. Now we are going to go through how to cut this stuff out, okay? So I'm going to be putting this up here like this. I'm going to flip it around so that we can see from the bottom like this. You're kind of looking at it from the viewer's perspective right now. And maybe we want to have it on this side so we can see it from the person cutting, see it from their perspective. Is that showing upside down? I think it might be. If I go like this, yeah, that's showing right side up. So I need to find a way to have it so it's like this. What if we did like this? Would it be able to work this way? I don't know. We'll have to see if the vibration will allow it to be like this. Okay. So, here we go. Wait, on these, I'm going to talk about these scroll saw, the Skill scroll saws, the new ones. So right now, we have it, if I turn this power on, you can see there's a light that turns on, and there's a light right here that turns on too. You can kind of shine that right directly at your work. I like to have it somewhat like that. You could have it so that this shines behind it, so that the blade reflects a shadow on your material itself. Whoops, it's making it so you can't see it. So right now you can see there's a shadow that kind of gets cast on there a little bit. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put it like this. Will it work? Will you be able to see from that perspective? I want to be able to see it from, we're going to put it up here and see how that works. It's the first time I've really tried to film this with using the document camera. And that should work as long as we cut everything out first. So, first things first, we have three pieces that are 3.5 inches long. 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches, and then 3.5 inches. And then we have this gap that we're not going to use. We typically put an X on this gap. But this gap will come, this extra piece right here will come into play here in a second. Let's see if it's going to take my lines off. I don't want to have that on there because when I'm filming, it's not going to be able to have the lines on. Okay, so I wanted to finish talking about this over here before I got distracted. Okay, so you have, right now you can see that it's turned on. If I have it go like this, it's going to be upside down yet. Well, trying to figure out the camera work. Okay, so as you're looking at this, I can flip it on and off right now and it doesn't turn on right away. There's a foot pedal on the ground that I can step on while I'm using it. If I look down right here, there's a foot pedal, and you can hear it turn on as I step on that foot pedal. And so watch, I'll step on the foot pedal, and I can turn it on. That's one way you can use this machine. You can flip this machine so that it always will be running like it normally would be, like this. So just like all the other machines, once I turn the power on, it turns on. But you all on the new scroll saws, you have that option of making it flip by using the foot pedal. If I go like this, now the foot pedal's on the ground. As you step on it, you can have it run that way. Most of the other machines don't have these. This one does not have it. The speed dial on this one is off. We want to have the speed dial turned up as fast as it can go on all of the machines. Turn the speed dial up as fast as it can go on all the machines. Okay, we're going to try to set this over here as I'm operating this to see if it will, see if I can make this work so you guys can see it. The one that doesn't have an opening, so these have openings down here, this one does not. We're going to go like this. We're going to cut all these off first. I'm going to come on the line like this. One of the reasons why I'm going to come up to the line where the blade is, and I'm going to try to line that up so that it lines up with my blade. And then run it down just like that. I'm going to cut all three pieces up first, just like this, right on that line. And one of the reasons why we are cutting this up for our first project is that you'll find on some of the blades that when the blade's in the saddle, this might be tilted a little bit or cocked off to the side, so that when you go to cut, your cuts might not be 100% square. If I compare these two cuts right here, the one that's closer to us, this one, is not cut 100% square. Will it matter in this? It won't matter that much, but that's just something to kind of pay attention to. So when we're first cutting, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to stay inside the lines. I'm going to go right up here like this. I'm going to go up to the edge of the line, and then I'm going to back out. Then I'm going to go up to the edge of the line again on this side, and now I'm going to back out. Now, when I get to this part, you can cut at a diagonal now, and then you'll end up cutting a chunk off. The way that these will be cut out is you're going to end up cutting chunks off. I just realized that this is probably a lot bigger than it needs to be, like the top of it is. So I'm just making an adjustment to it because I must have looked at the wrong line that was marked when I did that. That's a good thing that I stopped where I did. That's about perfect. Okay, so to remember, you're going to go in and then you're going to go out. You're going to go in and then you're going to go out. You notice right now, going in and going out is kind of hard when the blade is sitting still. It's going to operate better if the machine is running. Right now, I'm not holding it down very well. If you hold your fingers down with both hands, remember you're going to hold it down with two hands. It will hold down a lot better. Now I'm going to start coming into my cut like this, and I want to meet at that top. You see that a piece fell off, but I didn't damage the outside like that. Now we're going to go like this. Now that I have the top cut off, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut along the edge, stop, back up, come along the edge, stop, back up. Now I'm going to come at a diagonal like this, take that out, flip it around like this, do that, and then we can clean up this edge just like that. And then we're going to do this other side, just like that, back up, just like that, back up. And now we're going to go at a diagonal, just like that. Then we're going to come in like there. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. Now, I said that little piece that we cut out, the extra piece, we can use that to see if we need to cut out more. Okay, as I'm looking through this right now, I can see if I compare this to the edge right now, you can see that it's a little bit wider. So we need to go a little bit wider on the ends. How are we from top to bottom? We need to go a little bit taller from top to bottom. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put it back in here like this. First I'm going to take the rest of it, off on this side like this. Then I'm going to do the same thing and make sure that I'm same from side to side. Then we're going to go like this. I'm going to come on here like that. I'm going to come on the top, take it a little bit more. Notice I'm just taking about a blade width off to open it up just a little bit more. I'm not taking a lot off, just a little tiny bit. Now I'm going to check to see, will it fit this way? Yep, so it fits that way. Does it fit this way? Nope, we need to go a little bit, we might need to go a little bit farther. So I might need to go just a little bit wider. Maybe my piece is a little bit wider than 3/4 of an inch, which it seems that's probably the case. So I'm going to take a little bit off this side, a little bit more off this side. Now I'm going to take just a little bit off, just like that. I'm going to come this way, try to square this corner up, just like that. Now I'm going to check it with my little piece again. Does it fit now? Oh, it's so close. Yep, it does fit. So it's pretty tight. We see a little bit of a space in between on this side. How does it fit on the neck coming into it? Looks like I need to open that up a little bit more. So now I'm just going to go right on the edge and just try to take just a little bit off, just like this. Notice, after every time I take a little bit more off, I'm going to check it. So right now, that's about as perfect as we can get it right there. And then it's going to be able to fit in. It should be able to fit in once we break all the burrs loose. It should fit in. We just saw it fit in just a second ago. We should be able to get this little piece to fit in. So the little piece is actually used. You can use that little piece to check it, or you can also use one of the other two pieces. So right now there's a little bit of light showing through, so you can see through that. That's going to be something that we will work on improving when we're all the way finished. I'm not going to show you how to cut out this one because it's the exact. I'm not going to show you to cut out that one. It's the exact same as this. The other thing I'm going to show you is how to get this hole how to make it so we can cut this hole out how to cut that hole out without cutting from the edge or the side. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set that down and I'm going to move my camera over to the drill press that's right over here. Let's try to set this up so I can run it off of here, just like this. Flip it upside down so we're right side up. Okay. And so now when you're doing this, we're going to have a bit that's already predetermined, and we're also going to make sure that when we set this up, that we want to have the hole for the table to be directly underneath this, so that when we drill all the way through, it's going to pass through it'll pass all the way through the table. So we're going to make sure that's locked like this. Okay. We don't really take a safety quiz on this because all we're really doing with these is just going up and down like that. We're just going up and down. There's really not a lot to it. So we're going to put our fingers on here like this. I like to keep my fingers on the ends, so I'm going to hold it just like that. I'm going to keep my fingers on the ends. I'm going to go like this. And we're just going to drill all the way through. Now that's going to end up with a hole that looks like that. And that hole is created for a reason, so that when we are setting up the scroll saw, we're going to go and flip up the blade tension, which on the new scroll saws, it's on the back of the machine. The older ones, it's on the front. Some of them have it on the back. A lot of them have it on the front. So I'm going to release the tension first. Then you're going to unhook the blade. I'm going to try to put it up here so we can see what I'm doing and try to manage my cord correctly. I'm going to flip it back up like this. So I've already released the tension right now. Then we're going to hold the blade. I like to hold the blade and I like to push down. You're going to push down on like that so that it'll end up coming loose from the blade saddle itself. To re-put it back in, you're just going to push down on it. Now, we're going to take our hole. We're going to have the side that's facing us up, and we're going to put the scroll saw blade through that hole. That hole is a perfect size. Then we're going to put it back in here like this. Then we just have to lock down our blade tension back here. Lock down our blade tension. Where's my blade tension at? I gotta find where my hand is. Okay, my hand's right there. So our blade tension, try to do our camera work. Our blade tension's right here. We just have to lock this down, just like that. And then our blade tension is exactly where we want it. I'm gonna flip this back around and come over here with this. Now, this is gonna be cutting out exactly the same the other way it was, just like this. So we drill a hole through it. Then we're gonna go here. We're gonna come to this side. Looks like I might be vibrating away. So we come in like this, come to this corner, and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna try to stay inside the lines first. Then I'm gonna take that a little bit off like that, rotate it around, if I'm still showing you. We're gonna come like this. We're gonna take that chunk out. We're gonna go like this. Then we're gonna bring it this way, right along the edge. Stop, bring it back. We're gonna go forward, just like that, bring it back. Now we're gonna cut that chunk out, like that. Let it fall out. Rotate it to the side. We're still okay with, I'll go focus. The focus is really good. Okay, we're gonna go like this now and come in at it like that, and just clean out the edges. Now you have a few options now. Once I have this all the way cut out, there's a few options that we have with this. Okay, we're gonna shut it off. You can take your little piece and see if you have it opened up a wide or enough for the, right now I'm just forcing this in between the back over here. If you take a look at that, you're kind of just forcing in the back just to make sure that you can fit through it from top to bottom. Then you're gonna bring it this way and make sure that you can fit through from side to side. If you can't do it on both sides, I just need to square up this corner. If you take a look at that, this corner needs to be opened up just a little bit more. I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna have this up like this. And I'm just gonna open up this corner a little bit more. Just like that. Okay. Now that should fit. I'm gonna release the blade tension in the back. I'm just flipping up that blade tension. I'm gonna pull the blade off to the side. I'm gonna hold on to the blade, pass it through my fingers. This finger is holding underneath it. I'm gonna use my other hand to hold on to the blade so it stays in the lower blade saddle. And then I'm gonna push this down. You can pop these inserts out, by the way, if these inserts are in your way, if you're having a hard time with it. Take the insert out and you could just take the whole blade out and just reset the blade in after you're done. Remember, when you're done, you're gonna flip down that blade tension on the back. Then you should be able to pass this through like this. Now, I'm glad that it cut out the way that it did. If you look at it, it's kind of loose and kind of wiggly, okay? That means that I cut a little bit too much material off, which is okay. What you're gonna do from this point is you're gonna cut off all three, you're gonna cut out all three parts, and then you're gonna set them on the table like this, and look at them, okay? Some of yours, it's gonna appear pretty obvious to which ones are big and which ones are not.